Hi, I'm Holly Wallace, Planning and Zoning Administrator for the City of Austin. Our department is divided into three primary functions: planning, zoning, and building. In its planning capacity, staff works primarily in a review capacity, making comments on site plans, reports, and various applications prepared by architects, consultants, developers, and homeowners. Staff also supports economic and community development efforts to attract businesses to the community, providing various data and information needed to select an appropriate site. We also assist in the annexing of property into the city, which has been ongoing in recent years due to failing septic systems and inadequate conditions to replace on-site treatment systems. These areas are adjacent to the city boundary, and if annexation is selected by homeowners, a petition is made by the township. The township and city then agree to a joint resolution, which is sent to the state for designation and approval of the annexation area. Our department works with engineering to answer questions from individual homeowners and help ease the transition to the city. Other department heads have also assisted in answering questions about firearms and burning, among other issues that vary from county to city. Austin has adopted the state building code and is responsible for its enforcement within city limits. Mower County has not adopted the building code, so there is no local building code inspection outside of Austin. The building department reviews building code requirements with applicants prior to construction and ensures code compliance by inspection as projects move forward and are completed. This permitting enforcement also has a consumer protection function, helping to ensure work is done competently and in a timely manner. The department also administers zoning ordinances. State statute allows municipalities to control the use of land in a specific area in a way that balances private use of land with the prosperity, health, and safety of the community as a whole. The basic framework for our zoning is found in the comprehensive plan, which is essentially a master plan guiding future land use within the community. Based on the plan, zoning areas are designated for specific uses in the city. The primary categories in Austin are residential, commercial, industrial, and agricultural. These primary categories are further divided into 12 zoning districts, and each district has specific rules regarding placement and spacing of structures, lot coverage, and size of lots. Some areas can be rezoned by going through a petition process. Commercial or non-residential projects like the Dome at Westcott Field, Utilities Building, Spam Museum, Hormel Institute expansion, and Science Park apartments often require review by multiple entities, including planning, zoning, and building, utilities, engineering, various communications companies, and the fire department. New subdivisions and single-family residences also require collaborative review, but smaller residential projects such as garages, accessory structures like decks, may be reviewed solely within our department. There is some overlap of building and zoning codes, but generally signs, fences, buildings under 200 square feet, and decks under 30 inches are regulated under zoning, which again deals primarily with size and placement. In cases where plans are reviewed, there may be instances where a special permit is needed for use in a designated zone. For instance, a church in a residential area is allowed, but they must obtain a conditional use permit. This kind of permit is intended to create conditions such as requiring off-street parking, lighting restrictions, and specifying areas of access to minimize impacts on the primary residential use. There are also instances where a party might request a variance from a specific zoning ordinance, such as setbacks from property lines. Both special permits and variances require public hearings advertised in the paper and sent to surrounding neighbors. The Planning and Zoning Administrator will assist the petitioner in this process and present the request to the Planning Commission and Council as needed. The department also reviews shoreland and floodplain compliance and administers the community rating system through the National Flood Insurance Program. CRS floodplain management activities provide enhanced public safety, reduce damage to property and public infrastructure, and avoidance of economic disruption and loss. Participation in the program also lowers the cost of flood insurance for Austin residents in the floodplain by 25% and those outside the floodplain by 10%. It is also necessary to review, add, and revise ordinances from time to time. One of our newer ordinances administered by our department is the rental registration ordinance. Rental registration is intended to provide data about rental housing as well as up-to-date contact information in case of problems. In both owner-occupied and rental properties, we will sometimes receive public nuisance complaints, which are typically junk and garbage in a visible location on the property. We also administer the minimum housing code, which usually begins with a complaint by a tenant. The complaint is investigated, and if a violation is found, the property owner is given notice to repair the problem. If there is a life safety issue, the property will be placarded as uninhabitable, and the tenant will need to find new housing until the problem is resolved. If the problem is not resolved and time passes, the structure may become a hazardous building, and our department will pursue an order from district court allowing us to contract for repair or removal. If you need any further information, please call our office at 507-437-9950.